Fore.
Welcome, friends, to Golf is a four-letter word. Approaching the tee box now, your host, Craig Dufton.
Thank you very much. Great to see you all again out live on Facebook. Ben, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good. Welcome back. Thank you for being here and producing for us one more week so we can bring this godforsaken show to everybody out there. So,
good morning, all.
Yeah.
I'm here too.
Say hello to the lovely Janine, J9. She's here too again this week. Actually, you know what? We should probably change the intro and just have you. We'll be both approaching the tee, but you'll be approaching the ladies' tees. That's what we'll do from now on. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll switch it up for 2 weeks from now.
We'll switch it up for 2 weeks from now. Yep. We're going to
I'm just posting.
Yeah, Janine's posting some pictures to Facebook, and I wanted to talk to you guys about. I had a little faux pas this week, Jen. Remember when we showed up at Canterbury Woods? We had a tee time for 12 o'clock for Friday at Canterbury Woods, the golf course we're going to talk about today in Canterbury, New Hampshire. So I walk into the pro shop, and this really nice young man says to me, "Oh, you don't have a tee time today."
And we drove.
And I'm like,
how far?
Okay, so we're at exit 18 on Route 93. All right, and we live off of exit 3, right by Canterbury Lake. So I mean, it's about 45 minutes. It wasn't like, oh my God, 93 north traffic on Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock. But we drove up at like 11, and we get there, and there's a tournament going on. And luckily for us, it happened to be the pro who was checking us in. His name is Taylor Simpson. Great kid. I mean, he's a kid to me. Everybody's a kid to me, but he's a younger kid. He's from Londonderry, New Hampshire. He's a pro there at Canterbury Woods, and he was very, very, very accommodating to us. He told me that my tee time was for Thursday at 12 o'clock instead of Friday at 12 o'clock, which is, I have to admit to you all, this is the first time I've ever really, truly screwed up a tee time like that. I mean, it's not like me at all, but luckily for us, we were there with our son, Jacob, and Janine was there too as well, and we were able to get out and play and enjoy this beautiful golf course on a beautiful fall day. Well, technically it's not fall yet, but it felt like fall up in Canterbury. And I had a great time. I really did. I enjoyed playing golf with the two of them. We had a fun time this week. It was
love being with Jake.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful setting. The golf course was in a little bit tough shape. Had some dry spots like we've talked about over the last 10 shows with all of these different courses that we've been playing. Canterbury, though, is really cool. It's conveniently located off of 93. It's one of 3 golf courses that are run by a company called TGM, which is Total Golf Management. And Total Golf Management owns 2 other golf courses, like I said, Pembroke Pines in Pembroke, New Hampshire, and Ridgewood Country Club in Ridgewood. So we're going to go check those other 2 places out for you so we can give you the trifecta of TGM's Total Golf Management and see if they are truly totally managing at the same time like they say they are in there. TGM. Sounds like TMI or... I'm sure they're really good people, and I hope we hear from them. And it'd be nice to be sponsored by TGM. Just sounds like a podcast brought to you by TGM, Total Golf Management.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you're out there listening to Total Golf Management, we'd love to hear from you. Again, thank you, Taylor, for being so accommodating to us. I was a complete dumbass. And
gift shop was nice to me.
I'm going to be the first to admit it, and Janine made up for it by spending several $100s in your pro shop. So.
They had women's clothes.
Certainly, if people
I
think,
didn't even look at the tags.
If people think we're making money in this podcast, I just want you to know right now that we're not making any money.
We're losing money. We're having a really good time.
We are having a good time. We may want to look at our drinking budget next year and just kind of cut that down so we can buy more clothes. You're not even wearing any of your clothes that you got. Are you? Is this the?
No, I forgot.
You bought Canterbury Woods stuff, and you're not even wearing it on our Canterbury Woods podcast. Again,
it's all good.
Taylor, I apologize, but it is beautiful stuff. She really enjoyed it. I had a great time. I'm going to tell you, if the course was in great shape, it would be in my high 90s again because it really was a really cool golf course to play. One notable fact: our son Jacob, this is his second Second time playing 18 holes with us. Literally almost had a hole in one. Wow. Yeah.
It was awesome.
We have pictures of it on Facebook. Janine just uploaded some pictures. Jake is literally, his shot landed 3 feet away from the hole after hitting the hole.
It hit the post.
Hit the side of the hill, rolled onto the green, hit the post, and spun out.
It was beautiful.
And we were losing our minds just from that. It was really great. Thank God he made the putt. He got a birdie. He got his first birdie too. And it was exciting to be there. But I thought for a second, I really thought he was going to dunk one. And I'm like, God damn it, I don't even freaking have a hole in one. And my kid's been playing for 2 rounds, and he almost got a hole in one.
Yes, but you taught him.
I wish he
That's
did.
where you take the pleasure.
I'm not. Yeah, and actually, he's doing good on his own. He's had years of baseball swinging, so he's finally figured out that his baseball swing and your golf swing are kind of that same athletic movement. And he's going to be fine. Couple of lessons with Nick, and we'll be good to go. Nick, by the way, will be joining us in a couple of weeks when we get back to talk about. Yes, you did. Thank you for checking out with me while we're live here on Facebook.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, no one cares. I don't know what I was going to say. I'm doing the old radio stuff that I shouldn't be doing. So, what do you think about Canterbury Woods? Talk while I'm losing my mind slowly.
I just really enjoyed it. I love being out with Jake.
How did you play? How did you feel like you played?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah? Getting a little frustrated out there? Yeah?
If I need to hit balls or have another lesson or...
I think you just need to get out of your own head, to be honest with you. She makes these beautiful practice swings. Then she gets up there and she's like, I just forgot how to do any bodily function whatsoever. And it's just like, your arms fall and blah, blah, blah. But I love playing with you. I think it's fun. We're having a great time. We're going to all these different golf courses.
It was nice.
I've never been to Canterbury Woods before. The last few golf courses that we've played at, I haven't been to, and I really enjoyed it. I actually went back to Hidden Creek this week and played 9 holes there at Hidden Creek, and I really love that golf course too. So I have to tell you, you got to put Canterbury Woods on the list of spots that you need to check off if you're going around doing different golf courses like we are.
I liked it because it was wide open, just beautiful trees, and you couldn't see anybody. So there wasn't any pressure of someone watching you.
Yeah, but it wasn't wide open in the sense that you could hit your ball anywhere.
No.
But it was pretty...
It was private.
Yeah, it's pretty private, but it was... It's a tough golf course.
Relaxing.
It wasn't an easy golf course. They have 5 different sets of tees, and unusually they mark their tees not like with colors like most golf courses do. They do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in Roman numerals, right? So Janine's playing from IV, or no, you're playing from V. Jake and I were playing from 3s and 2s, depending on the.
Excuse me, I and I.
Yes, I'm sorry, I and I. And there's I, V, and V. So that's what we had at Canterbury Woods, which I guess it kind of makes sense if you're doing the whole Canterbury thing and maybe Latin, and I don't know, how would that all tie together? I don't have any good Indian stories this week about Canterbury Woods or Native American stories.
I'm going to assume the Canterbury Tales were written in Old English and had nothing to do with Latin.
I'm pretty sure that they didn't have anything to do with Canterbury, New Hampshire either, except maybe the fact that they named it after Chaucer. Maybe then they would have named it Chaucer, New Hampshire, don't you think?
Maybe.
All right. Was that who did Canterbury Tales?
Geoffrey Chaucer? I believe so.
Oh, all right.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
This is a golf podcast. This isn't an Old English lit podcast.
Thank God it isn't an Old English lit podcast because, number one, we wouldn't have the numbers that we have. So, well, maybe we would. I don't know. You think there's a market out there for Old English podcasts?
Probably.
The Canterbury Tales podcast. What do you think?
Thank God for Google. We were right.
Oh, nice. God, love Google. Google, you can sponsor us too. Shameless Google sponsors. Let's talk about Canterbury Woods some more. Let's talk the tales of Canterbury. Ease of getting a tee time, 7 days in advance and online. Price very, very reasonable for 18 holes with a cart was $50. Course layout, 18 holes, par 72, and like I told you, they have 5 different tees. So really, they actually give you a. There's a sign on the first tee that tells you like if you're this kind of handicapper, if you're 0 to whatever, then you should play the I's, and if you're from here to here, you should play I, and then if you're ladies tees, you should play the V's, right? So I'm not saying that the V has anything to do with ladies' tees. I'm not even going to go.
God.
Not even going to go there. But I don't understand why they would do that. Maybe I would just go with red tees next time, Canterbury. I'm just saying. Right?
Red.
Yeah, I know. Well, what can I say? I can't get away from any of this. I'm just. Yeah. You know, you have such good podcasts, and then you have a podcast like this.
I
think this one's great. I don't know what you're talking about.
I hit from the I. Remember you said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm going to hit it." And I had, what was it, 200 yards?
And then the freaking I police come out and they're like, "Hey," they're like, "Get back to V. You shouldn't be on I."
But how far did I hit it?
You smashed one on the 12th hole, natural par for you, right? She gets up to the V's, steps up to the VTs, right? Smashes it. Got to be the hole for you. I think was 255 yards or something like that, and she was like 30 yards left, so she had a 225-yard drive for Janine. Not bad. Come on. Oh, nice! Hit your microphone. We're gonna have to work. Yeah. Oh, thank you, audience. Appreciate it. God, this place is packed today.
The proud moment was Jake, though.
Yeah. Actually, it was.
We all just stood there in silence, looking at each other. Did that just happen? I wish it had gone in.
I do too.
That was such a great shot.
I think the whole experience, though, is what you're looking for. Like, this whole podcast is based upon the whole golf experience, from when you show up to how you're treated to, you know, how much fun you have out on the golf course. Are you waiting for a long time in between shots? And the answer was no. I mean, we were backed up a little bit on the front, but you know what? Like I said, we're not going to be choosers because they slid us in after the tournament was over, and then those guys were playing a scramble, you know, where everybody hits their balls, smashes them all over the place. And we were just kind of 3 people behind 4, and you're always going to be slower. 4 is always going to be slower than 3, no matter even whatever level you play, right? And we had a great time though. And then after 8 holes, it was empty, and we played all the way through, and we literally didn't even see another.
I liked that.
Another person out there for the last 10 holes. It was really cool. And the views, I mean, you get up to these tee boxes and you've got these views of the White
beautiful.
Mountains that are absolutely incredible. We have some stuff rolling down below too that I was stunned. I really was. I was really stunned. Like, you came around the corner out of the woods and you're like, holy shit, I can see half of New Hampshire right here, you know? And it was really cool.
It was beautiful.
They had some par 3s where, and like the par 3 that Jake almost got a hole in one in, there was, you know, the tee box is up high. They were big. They had 3 or 4 holes where you have elevated tee boxes, and you're hitting down to the par 3 down below, I love that. And then also the par 5s. It was
opposite, right?
Yeah, these big par 5s that they have. You have these blind tee shots. Now, for those of you who don't know what a blind tee shot is, it's basically exactly what it sounds like, right? You're hitting your ball, hopefully knowing that it's going to be okay, right? But you can't see where it's going to land, and that's called a blind tee shot. So you have to be cognizant of, you know, if there are people in front of you, you've got to make sure that there aren't any people in front of you. And usually there's a bell that someone rings or something. But in our case, we were just driving up just to see anyways. And that's always good practice too, just to drive up, have somebody drive up really quick just to get the lay of the land if you've never played the golf course before, or look at it on your GPS. Like, I use Swing U on my GPS just to get a down view of everything that I'm at, and it actually worked even really well up in Canterbury. So that's another app I would go for. Also, you know, I can't think of what are those things called where the rangefinders there. Those are always helpful too. I don't have one yet, but maybe I'll get one for Christmas. Maybe.
Okay, right. We'll see.
Yeah. She spends $300 in the golf. I got freaking sleeve of balls. I got a sleeve of balls.
I didn't even look at the prices.
$8.
I just went. I can't, you know, no changing.
I did when I got the text saying, "Hey, you know, you just spent an exorbitantly large amount of money and play in the golf course pro shop at Canterbury Woods," and I went, "Sure, why not?" You know, keeps her happy. Didn't wear any of it today. I mean, why would you want to wear any of it?
I think it's still in the car,
Canterbury
right?
podcast. No, I think I took it out.
Right.
But overall, I have to say, loved Canterbury Woods. I'm going to go back. The food. Let's talk about the tavern. The tavern at Canterbury Woods. Plus, we'll talk about the golf cart, the cart girl who brought us Tito's whenever we needed it. And even though she didn't have soda, I had to drink a Tito's and tonic.
I believe we had Tito's lemonade too.
We did. That wasn't too bad. I'm not, a little different. Didn't drink any Tito's yesterday. I drank something different. Talk about that later. But What did you think about the service there? I thought everybody was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Everybody was great.
Yep. I think anyone that goes there is going to have a good time.
The chef was great. Kept coming out and
Yep.
telling
Bringing
us what
our
he
food.
made. And
everything was homemade except for, I think the only thing they didn't make there was the tater tots. All the sauces and everything were made there except for ketchup and tater tots, which, who wants to try to make their own tater tots and their own ketchup when you have ketchup and you have tater tots? I mean, it's pretty hard to...
Is that where you had the burger?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. I could eat that right now.
I had you can because half of it's still in our fridge, I think.
Oh, I think that's gone already.
No, we ate that.
I don't think
everything we got, I cut my sandwich right in half. I had the, what did I have? The Homer? Or what was the name of the sandwich I had? I'll have to look it up. But it was, the Dude, right?
The Dude.
My sandwich was called the Dude.
Homer.
And it had like ham, turkey, all sorts of stuff. And the thing was like that. I mean,
yeah, that was
when you
really
get it,
good.
you're like, how do you even open your mouth to, I had to take this sandwich in sections and eat it in sections.
You have to be like a snake to eat it and unhinge your
just
jaw.
Yeah, I do have TMJ, but that's not going to help in this situation. I just instantly took half of the sandwich and put it aside because I'm like, there's no possible way. And I even said to the bartender, what was her name? Ellen? No. I'm sorry. I apologize for forgetting your name, but you were awesome.
The chef was great too.
That was her husband. Was a chef too. I think his
that's
name
right.
was
They
Lee.
were wonderful.
I remember. I think his name was Lee.
Their food is made with passion.
Yeah.
So delicious. Definitely.
Makes his own onion rings. Makes his own hand-cut French fries.
They were great.
All the sauces, all the buffalo, the wings that we had were delicious. They had barbecue sauce. They had a sauce called Godzilla, which was sweet and spicy and just like Godzilla is. I mean, if most of you know Godzilla,
definitely recommend
sweet and spicy
chicken fingers and Godzilla.
Yeah, the chicken fingers were great.
And that sauce laid waste to Tokyo.
Yes, it did.
That's why they named it Godzilla.
Yep, it's true. Poor Tokyo. Mm-hmm. How many times did that city get crushed when I was a kid? Crazy stuff. I don't know how we go from Godzilla to Tokyo but Godzilla sauce, I guess. But I have to tell you, I would go there just to eat the food. I would drive up there just to get that burger that you had again.
Dessert.
And Jake had a fried chicken sandwich that was great. And no, I don't think we had dessert because we were full. We had dessert the other day at fried ice cream.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That was that little Mexico place, but that's not golf. So Ben says we can't talk about that because it's not golf.
Nope.
Canterbury Tales. But the other thing that I liked most about Canterbury Woods was it was a really challenging golf course, and I actually hate to admit that I like the Roman numeral thing that you can step back and go to the number 2 tees or IITs or the ITs if you really wanted to. If you really wanted to change in pace, I mean, the golf course goes from where you were playing from the VTs of 4,500 yards, right, to 6,500 yards from the ITs, right? A slope of 71.8. I'm sorry, rating of 71.8 and a slope of 133. So remember, the average slope is 120. So I mean, if you're playing this course from the tips, you are getting a challenging golf course. I'll tell you that. There's a couple of holes on there that were like the 4th hole and the 15th hole, these 2 par 5s that were absolutely just like 550 yards from the ITs. I mean, that's just such a long way.
Jake's hole?
No, that was me. I was keeping record of all my different crappy shots and good shots, and I was taking Nick's advice, and I was just taking. See, I got a little.
I got to take notes.
There. Yeah, we like to take notes. We like to talk about the different. I like to talk about the different aspects of that golf course because I just thought every single hole was completely unique. I mean, every single hole that you went to, even the first hole, it teed off. It goes up over. It's a blind tee shot, and you go up, and then it goes down into the swale. Swale. That's a pretty cool word. Swale. Mm-hmm. It sounds better when you say it. Swale. Anyways, I digress. I think to sum up, I definitely would. I would call it a 90. To be honest with you, I love the challenge of the golf course. I think that if they could have greened it up and it was in amazing shape, which we'll try it again in the spring. We'll go back there in the spring, and I think you could get this golf course up to a 95, to be honest with you.
Let me ask you, you just talked about each hole being unique. Does that make it harder for you to get into a rhythm? Or do you find that it actually kind of simplifies something for you because every hole is different and you have to look at every hole differently?
Yeah, I think I liked the challenge of it because you weren't able to, like on golf, some golf courses you just take your driver out on every single hole. And this golf course you don't do that, because if you do, you're going to be in trouble. Like there really were shots on some of these holes that would require you to make a good shot and put it right in the middle of the fairway, so that there was that par 5 there that they didn't really need. You don't really need to hit more than 200 yards out, because you got a bunch of grungle in between you that you've got to navigate. So you want to make your shots. And I think knowing the golf course now, the way that we did, if you played it again, I would have played some holes differently. I mean, I played well overall. I didn't really have any major bad holes. None of us really did.
We were golf ready. We were driving. Everyone was ready on their holes. And
golf ready. Look at her. She's learning. So I'm so proud. So I have to admit, there were a few times where I noticed that you had your club ready, you had your tee in your hand and your ball in your hand, and as soon as we were done hitting, you walked right over to your tee and you hit. And I'm like, wow. Like, I didn't even have to say anything. My girl's all grown up. Mm-hmm. The two of you played great. I mean, we had no stress. That's what I like about these golf courses up north. There's not a lot of stress, because you're not getting the play that you're getting down here in the south, like in the southern parts of the state, where a lot of people from Massachusetts go over the border to like I played Hickory Hill last week, and Hickory Hill's we're going to talk about Hickory Hill in a few weeks, but it gets 60,000 rounds, whereas Canterbury may get, I don't know, 30,000 rounds. So, there's a lot of difference. There's an easier.
It was relaxing.
Yeah,
is what it was.
Yeah, and there's not a toughness to the golf course when you have that wear and tear of people, tearing it up. So I thought it was. Don't get me wrong. The golf course was in the morning was packed when we got there. When we first got there, it was packed, but it opened up really nicely in the afternoon, and I think we played in like less than 4.5, almost 4 hours. After that, our second 9, I think, went in like an hour and a half. So it was really, really quick. We were done and eating, sitting at the bar, enjoying a cocktail. We teed off at, I think, a little bit before 1, and we were done by like a little bit. We're sitting there by, I think, 5:05. I noticed on my watch that we were sitting there. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty good. I definitely would recommend it. I think I know I've said that like 3 times so far that I would recommend it, but for $50 and a short drive, I mean, if you're going to drive somewhere else or go to the seacoast to play Breakfast Hill, I mean, it's the same distance. If you're coming from southern New Hampshire, it might be a little bit longer from Boston, but I mean, literally you take exit 18, you get off the exit, you take a left, and then you go down about 1.5 miles and you take a left into Canterbury Woods. It doesn't get any simpler. It doesn't get any simpler than that.
The views.
That $50 you mentioned, does that include a cart?
Yep. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great deal.
Price.
Yeah, it was a great deal. Honestly, economically, especially golf is not cheap to play every week. I mean, especially when you have 3 or 4 people that you're paying for, it's not cheap. So I think you need to take advantage of these golf courses that have great rates and have great play. And I think Canterbury Woods fits right into that scenario.
Definitely.
And
I look forward to going back.
The deck, the outdoor seating and the deck looking out at the sunset, by the way, inside the tavern was awesome.
Beautiful.
We sat out there, took a couple of pictures. So I'm going to wrap this up in a couple of seconds here, a couple of minutes. I want to do the Scott's Roofing and Siding, our quote of the week. It's from our friend and one of my favorite golfers in the world, Arnold Palmer. Rest his soul. Loved you, Arnold Palmer. Still love your drink, too. It says, golf is deceptively simple and endlessly complicated. It satisfies the soul and frustrates the intellect. It is at the same time rewarding and maddening, and it is without a doubt the greatest game mankind has ever invented. So I have to say that pretty much sums up my life with golf. Arnold Palmer
You said he was your friend. That's cool.
Nailed it on the head. I mean, he is... when you think about golf, I'm on the younger side of the Arnold Palmer generation. Obviously, like someone like my dad and your dad would have enjoyed with Arnold Palmer growing up, and the jack, getting that overlapping jack and Arnold Palmer. We got Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, and we got a couple of others that were like that. But nobody transformed the game like Arnold Palmer back in his time, because he was the Latrobe, Pennsylvania blue collar. Dad was the maintenance guy there, and then he was the head pro, and then he became the head pro. Then later on, he bought the Latrobe Country Club. I mean, and then they have an airport there now, and he used to fly. I mean, when you think about all the things that Arnold Palmer has done for golf, never mind the beverage industry, okay, with the Arnold Palmer too. He was just such a philanthropist. Him and his wife were amazing, gave back in every aspect all over the world. In Japan, we talked about Tokyo, how big Arnold Palmer was. They used to have Arnold Palmer golf stores where it had all his...
Literally how big he was there.
Yeah, he was bigger. He was bigger than most people too. Not quite Godzilla big, but he was...
Mothra big.
Yes.
Sorry.
Monster X. Oh no, Arnold Palmer. So...
Okay, stop that now.
Yeah.
Scott's Roofing, don't forget.
Huh? Yes, Scott's Roofing and Siding. Thanks for bringing me back from a very, very bad podcast.
Precarious situation.
Yeah, well, I apologize. You could just watch it on Saturday morning cartoons
I saw a sign.
instead.
I think I was on 111A. Is that Scott's Roofing?
Yes. Scott's Roofing and Siding. They're not in the roofing business. They are in the customer service business. Can we call today at 888-947-7663 and mention this podcast, and they're going to give you a special discount if you give them a call and say you heard about them on our Golf is a Four-Letter Word podcast. Again, I want to talk about Canterbury Woods, Jen, and we can wrap this up. Next week, after that, we're going to go to Haverhill, Mass. to play one of the older courses in the Merrimack Valley that got a facelift recently called Crystal Lake Golf Club. All you Friday the 13th fans will enjoy that. Mm-hmm. And Nick Antonelli will be joining us in 2 weeks from today. You can email us any questions you want to ask him, Craig at foregolf.club, or you can just grab us on Facebook and send us a direct message on Facebook. Please remember to like the United Podcast Network, subscribe to us on YouTube, and also like us on Facebook, please. And we will see you next week, and we'll talk about Crystal Lake.
Opinions expressed by the host, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.